Hi there, this is Aaron. Today is Saturday the 19th of July and it's day 57 on the allotment. It's been 2 weeks since I've been able to get down here properly. We were at a family wedding last week, so before I do anything, let me show you around and show you what's happening in the intervening weeks. Well, the first thing I can show you, there's the watering can, and there are the sunflowers, and they are proper getting on now. They're beginning to get sunflower heads at the top, not there yet, but I think in the next week or so that they will in fact be ready to open up and start welcoming the sun every morning. So I'm looking forward to that, because that's going to be really pretty. And in the shade of the sunflowers, here are the pumpkins, and they've doubled in size. All of them have really started to spread out. There's only one of them that's vining, which is my giant pumpkin, and you can see I've actually got 2 pumpkins on there now, and one of them is starting to bulb up as well. I don't know if you can see the little yellow bulb there between the leaves in the centre of the picture, but really pleased with the progress of the pumpkins. Here's a better view of the pumpkin, and you can see that that's now certainly bigger than my hand, so hopefully this might actually start to live up to being a giant. There's other flowers there, and actually on the end there's a 3rd pumpkin, so I might get 4 on that, I might get 3 on that. I don't know if I want 4 or if I want 3. Maybe 4 is too many and they'll all be smaller, but I need to look up on that. But yeah, very pleased with pumpkins and squashes. The strawberries, it's still producing some strawberries, admittedly not that many, but what it really is doing is creating runners all over the place, and I need to get cracking here. I've already got 4, 5, 6 plants that I've taken, but I could get a lot more. And if I do this right, I'll have 3 times the number of strawberries that I've had this year, which will be fantastic news. Well, along here, the peas, if you can see this, they're starting to pod up, and I am very happy with the Douce Provence. After the disappointment of the Kelvedon Wonder, France's Finest is certainly doing very well for us here. And it's not going to be too long before I can pick some peas and have some nice fresh peas, assuming they make it home. I note that everyone else has real trouble managing to move these off of the plot, and most of them do get eaten. So I may suffer from the same affliction. We'll have to see. Taking a step back for this, because this is the runner beans, this is the enorma, and they are a festival of red flowers. I do love runner bean flowers, they look so pretty, and these ones haven't let me down. I was wondering if they might be a bit dull compared to some of the other varieties, but no, they are absolutely brilliant. I've had 1 or 2 runner beans off of this already, and if you can see here, there are other runner beans starting to appear. It's not going to be long now before I'm absolutely running alive with runner beans, which is absolutely brilliant because I love them. These are going to be a couple of long ones here and here, and plenty more on the way. I've been having a conversation with Halvor about these Blue Lake French climbing beans, and Halvor says that they are the absolute tastiest beans he's ever had. So I'm really looking forward to these. I don't have beans yet, Halvor. They're still growing up the pole. I probably planted these out later than I should have done, and I probably could have got away with starting them off earlier than I did, but I'll know that for next year. But they are climbing up there. They are starting to get flowers, so hopefully not that long before I've got beans on the way. It's the same story with the Borlotti beans. I was worried that I put these in too late, and I think I did. I know that other people have been saying that they put them in earlier and they didn't do anything, so maybe I did time it right, I don't know. What I do know is that they haven't started to produce pods yet, but there's the beginning of flowers coming on these as well, and they are climbing up. They're about a week behind these French climbing beans, so perhaps not too far away from actually having some. Task for today is to get this garlic and any remaining onions up. It's in a terrible state, it needs to come up. I thought maybe if I left it a little bit longer it might bulb up a little bit more, but no, it's not going to do anything more. It may even have started to rot, but we'll see what we get. Now the other thing, of course, is that once I pull these out, I haven't given any thought to what I'm going to put in. Next year it's going to be a bean bed, so it's going to get very well manured in the autumn, but what can I possibly put in there once I've pulled these out? I haven't got anything ready. I could maybe put brassicas in there, but I'm not sure if alliums, then brassicas, then beans, all in a 6-month period. I'm not sure if that's a terribly bright idea. If anybody has got any ideas about what would be a good thing to follow garlic and onions, when my plan is to put beans in there next year, then I'd love to know. Now, I am very happy to report that some of the Musselburgh leeks are starting to actually look like proper plants. They're looking established and not just like little wispy bits of grass. They're starting to really come along, so I'm very pleased about that. Now, of course, what I maybe should have done was hold on to the rest of my leeks so that when I pull out the garlic and onions that the leeks followed them in. And maybe another year I'll give that a little bit more thought rather than being so quick to give so many of them away, because I certainly gave away well over half, and maybe I should have held some back, but yep, you live and learn. Yeah, and these are the last of the onions. They've been in long enough. The dice has been thrown. Some of them are a decent size and some of them are really good, others not so. It's really telling me to rethink my sort of strategy and tactics with onions next year. I won't try and do both seed and sets, and I'll also need to consider drainage. So lots to think about there. Now this white currant, even though it's been getting a feed, isn't happy. And I mean, this is one thing that I have got that could go into this allium bed. But is that really what I want to do with it? I'm not sure. If I knew what was happening with the plot and everything, then I'd be in a better position to make a decision here. I may be forced into it, so we'll have to see. But yeah, this white currant isn't happy. And even more sadly, the red currant is less happy. Getting a bit of rust on the leaves, not happy at all. It really wants to be in the ground. I know that. I just wish I knew where to put it. And I'll be having a good think about this in a little while. Well, the fruit is finished off with the raspberries, and I don't know if you can see, but that's starting to form little fruit buds. So raspberries are not too far away either. I need to start staking these out, because as they appear, these plants will get very heavy and start to droop over. So I need to make sure I give them plenty of support. All along here with my potatoes, doing really well, and you can see that those Anya at the end there, well, I mean, they've been partly munched by some slugs, but I mean, they've fallen over and they are ready. They want to come out, so that's what I'm going to be doing today. The Anya are all coming out. The international kidney may come out. We'll see how we get on with this. And I'm very proud to report that my rhubarb continues to establish itself and is actually now starting to look like quite a dominant plant. It's taken its time, it's been through a bit, but it's really starting to assert itself now, and that's really great. Now, brassicas, what there are, most of them are bolting. It's the first time I've ever seen brassicas bolt. My whole brassica strategy was wrong this year. The plan was to have all this dug, and what with the wetness and everything, I never got to it. I mean, there was also the idea that I was going to have more land to put the potatoes on, and so I actually grew more brassica seed than I physically have room for now. Oh well, yeah, you learn, and I'll do things differently next year. It's possible that I'll have somewhere to put these Brussels sprouts in, so that I'll have some Christmas Brussels sprouts. We'll just have to see how we get on now. I'll bring you inside the greenhouse now. Now we've had 7 or 8 cucumbers off of this plant now, and they're all climbing up quite high. They are all very well established. They are enjoying the environment. I've got more flowers coming, and therefore more cucumbers coming. In fact, as I speak, there are cucumbers forming to come through. So definitely pleased with the cucumbers. And lots and lots and lots of chillies. Thank you very much to Darcy, who said don't worry about the fact that they haven't got seeds. It's still very early. The Scotch Bonnet, you know, they can do this sometimes. They produce early ones where they don't have seed, and just keep taking them off, which is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take all the ripe ones off, and more will come. And those are the ones that will have the seeds in, and those are the ones that are going to have that very, very familiar punch, which I'm really looking forward to. And the other chillies coming on, you know, it's starting to grow up, starting to get quite big this year's, and hopefully we'll get some chillies off of these as well. Down on the lower row, more of the ones that are coming on. It gets very hot in here, and so I've let some of them stand in water for a little while. I won't be doing that overnight, but yeah, they'll need a drink. More chillies coming, and right the way through to the end. So there you go. Lots has been happening in 2 weeks. I've got the potatoes to pull up, I've got the garlics to pull up, I've got the onions to pull up, I've got the runners to deal with for the strawberries, and I think I'm going to plant some more of those Douce Provence peas, because I think I might just have enough time to get another crop of those. So put some more radish in, and yeah, lots to get on with. There's also a storm coming in. We've heard, you know, some quite loud rasps of thunder. It is on its way. I think it's going to be a very local storm, so hopefully won't last that long. But yeah, we think that's hitting any time now. I've just got to get on with things for as long as I can. Well, here is my garlic that I've lifted out, and I have to say I'm not unhappy at all. Yes, I've got some small ones, but many of them are starting to develop that distinctive Lautrec colouring, but I've also got some really nice ones. This is Lautrec White. What I've done is you know, sort of have a look at one of these, and well, they're proper cloves of garlic. You know, they're good enough to cook with. So yes, I thought this was going to be a complete disaster, but to me this looks like really, really nice garlic, and I couldn't be happier. Oh, and here we are with the onions, the last of the onions. Now again, I thought I might be disappointed, and there are a few in here that are quite small, but there are others. This one's the biggest one of all. I mean, that to me, for a first attempt at onions, I'm really, really happy. I had a plan, which I think was wrong, and the plan was to grow in sets, harvest them early, and then plant on the ones from seed. This is a mixture of onions from seed and from sets. The varieties are Rinsberger and Sturon. Rinsberger were the ones that I grew from seed, and Sturon are the ones from sets from last year. They actually look quite similar, but I know for a fact that some of those are Rinsberger, and even some of the bigger ones are Rinsberger. So there doesn't seem to be a hard and fast rule to this. But what does seem to be the rule is that if you grow over winter from sets, they are not ready to come out when the ones that you would grow at the beginning of the year from seed are ready to go in. And so you can either overwinter, or you can plant from sets early, or you can plant from seed early. But you can't do both, and that's an important lesson for me to learn. Well, here is the first bag of the Anya. There were 6 seed potatoes in here, and I did it really because I know that that's the maximum. I'm not expecting the potatoes to be big. I do not even know if there will be many of them because they were growing in coir, and my suspicion is that potatoes don't like coir, but we're about to find out. And there is the reveal. Well, certainly an extra few weeks has made a difference to size. There are more larger ones, and that's about the size that Anya should be. There's still not a huge amount, and there are still some small ones in there, but I do think that's because I was growing them in coir, and I shouldn't do that. So it's going to be interesting to compare that to a bag that was grown in compost and see how the Anya are preparing from that. Well, here I've got the first of my runner beans that I've been picking, and there were a few, and so I've swapped some of them with one of my allotment neighbours who's given me a courgette. Now these runner beans, just see, that's about 10 inches long. So a couple of those are going to be lovely for my tea, which I'm really looking forward to. Well, just a few seconds after that footage was taken, we had what is the most outrageous ice storm I've ever seen in July. I first of all took refuge in the greenhouse, and it was quite clear that the greenhouse really was not going to stand up to this, and it has sustained some damage. By the time that I'd actually left the plot and got home, I looked as if I'd been for a swim in the Thames. So not a lot more got done. I'm actually talking to you now on Monday. I've just finished work and I've just come to survey everything that's happened, and as I say, there is damage, but I'll tell you all about that next time. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time on The Allotment. Goodbye.